Assalamu alaikum dear students. Welcome to the course of International Relations for undergraduate classes conducted by ComState Institute of Information Technology, Virtual Campus Islamabad. Today we will be studying about Introduction to International Law. In this unit, we would study about the definition and concept of international law, the need of international law, the sources of international law, and then we would discuss, is international law really a law, and then the role of international law. So let us start with the concept of international law. Before we go over the topic, the first question that I would like to ask is, what is a law? कानून किसे कहते हैं? Law किसे कहते हैं? ये एक general question है. And many of the people know the answer, but sometimes they cannot define it. So what is really a law? So if you think, you may arrive at this kind of statement that it is a rule or a set of rules which are enforced by a sovereign. जब कोई state अपनी authority से, अपनी इक़्तिदार आला से, अपने sovereign की power की वजह से कोई rules को enforce करती है, उसको follow करती है, and the people observe those rules, so this would be called a law. What will happen if there is no law? अगर किसी मुल्क में कानून नहीं है, कोई law नहीं है, कोई ज़ाब्ते हयात नहीं है, so what will be the result? What would happen or what can happen? There would be confusion, conflict, and violation of rights. This is very obvious. So we can easily see that in the absence of no law, there would be confusion. There would be different kind of uncertainties. As a result, the people would not know how to behave, how to act. And as a result, we can see there would be confusion and disturbances. Now the next question is, what may be international law? क्योंकि अगर किसी मुल्क में कानून नहीं है, so we can see there would be confusion and disturbance. But if there is no international law, so what may be international law? So international law is a set of rules related to sovereign states governing their behavior. जिस तरह नाम से जाहिर है कि international law, which means this law deals with the international relations, with the affairs on the international. जहाँ पे हमारे पास जो parties हैं, वो कौन हैं? वो states हैं, वो रियासतें हैं, वो sovereign entities हैं, sovereign bodies हैं. So these sovereign bodies, these states, so the rules which are related to the behavior governing these states would be called international law. तो ऐसा ज़ाब्ते, ऐसे कवानीन, ऐसे असूल जिनका ताल्लुक स्टेट से हुआ और वो स्टेट्स के बीच के जो रिलेशंस हैं, उनके जो बीच के ताल्लुकात हैं, उनको रेगुलेट करे, उनके साथ उनका ताल्लुक हो. So such kind of rules would be called international law. Again the question is, what will happen if there is no international law? अब जिस तरह इंसान है, जिस तरह फर्द हैं, and when there is no law, so we see there would be confusion and disturbance in the society. So as a result, if there is no international law between the states, so what may happen? And you can see the consequences that it will again result in confusion, conflicts, uncertainty, and unpredictable behavior. Again, the states would not know how to act. Where is the actual process? What is the actual problem? And different states would interpret the problem accordingly, according to its own thinking and its own norms and values. तो हर एक स्टेट उस प्रॉब्लम को अपने मुताबिक लेगा और उस तरह उसका हल निकालेगा. लेकिन हमें स्टैंडर्ड चाहिए. We want standards. We want uniform procedures to be followed by all states. And for this, we need international law. So let us understand about what is international law. International law is a body of rules and principles governing the relations between states. ऐसे कवानीन, ऐसे ज़ाब्ते, ऐसे असूल जिनका ताल्लुक स्टेट से हो और वो इनके बीच के जो ताल्लुकात हैं उनको उस्तवार करे, उनके साथ डील करे, उनकी स्टडी करे. So these kind of relations between states if they are regulated by some particular rules and principles, so those rules and principles would be called international law. According to Brearley, it is the sum of rights that a state may claim for itself and its nationals from other states, and of the duties which in consequences it must observe towards them. कि ये एक ऐसे कवानीन हैं, ऐसे हकूक़ हैं जो कि एक स्टेट अपने अफराद के लिए बाकी स्टेट से मांगता है. जब एक स्टेट बाकी स्टेट से अपने अफराद के लिए कुछ हकूक़ मांगता है, इसका मतलब ये भी है कि जो बाकी स्टेट्स हैं और उनके जो बाशिंदे हैं, तो उनके लिए भी वो जो हकूक़ उनको भी मिलने चाहिए, तो वो उस स्टेट का फ़र्ज़ बन जाते हैं, उसकी ड्यूटी बन जाते हैं. So this means कि if a state is expecting some rights for its citizen, then this means it also have to give the same rights to the citizen of other states, and which is now the duty of that particular state. तो वो उस स्टेट की अपनी एक जिम्मेदारी बन जाती है कि वो बाकी स्टेट्स के जो अफराद हैं उनके लिए भी उनकी हकूक़ का तहफ़्फ़ुज़ करे. वो उसका फ़रीज़ा है, उसकी ड्यूटी है. और बाकी स्टेट से जो वो अपने अफराद के लिए मांगेगा, दिस वुड बी द राइट्स फॉर द सिटीजन्स. सो एज अ रिजल्ट वी कैन सी दैट इंटरनेशनल लॉ डील्स विद द राइट्स and duties of the citizens which state expect for its citizens. So every state is trying to extract some rights for its citizen, and therefore has the duty to observe the same rights for the other state as well. According to Professor Oppenheim, international law is the name for the body of customary and conventional rules which are considered legally binding by civilized states in their intercourse with each other, which means it is again the name of body of customary and conventional rules. ऐसे रसूमो रिवायात जो कि एक स्टेट फॉलो करती है, और इसलिए स्टेट फॉलो करती है ताकि जो सिटीजन्स हैं, जो बाशिंदे हैं, जो इंडिविजुअल्स हैं, so they are given their due rights, and these principles, these conventions, these customs, they are legally binding on the state. एक स्टेट इसको समझता है कि जो उसकी ओबीडियंस है, उसकी जो कंप्लाइंस है, वो उसका फरीज़ा है, उसको फॉलो करना है. And these rights shall be given to the citizens of all states. So when the states are dealing with one another on international level, they observe some principles, they observe some customary rules. ऐसे rules हैं जो कि एकदम बने नहीं हैं, बल्कि वो एक काफ़ी पीछे से पास से होते आ रहे हैं. The state knows that these rules are existing. वो उस रूल्स पे जो स्टेट्स हैं वो काफ़ी काम कर रहे हैं, वो उसको फॉलो कर रहे हैं. और ये जो रूल्स हैं ये इसलिए हैं ताकि जितनी भी कंट्रीज़ हैं, जितनी भी स्टेट्स हैं, वो उन रूल्स को फॉलो कर सकें. आखिर क्यों फॉलो करें? ताकि जो उनके अफराद हैं, जो उनके सिटीजन्स हैं, उनके हकूक़ का तहफ़्फ़ुज़ किया जाए. So in a very short, in a very concise manner, we can say international law is related to those rules and those principles which govern the relation between different states. जितनी भी रियासतें हैं उनके बीच के ताल्लुकात को कायम रखती है and deals with these kind of behavior and states. International law deals with and protects the following. आखिर इंटरनेशनल लॉ में कौन से स्पेसिफिक बॉडीज़ हैं जिनसे इसका ताल्लुक है? तो इसमें 3 मेन एक्टर्स हैं, 3 मेन एजेंट्स हैं, जिसमें स्टेट्स फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल खुद हैं. जितनी भी रियासतें हैं तो उनका ताल्लुक, और वो भी अपने लिए कुछ हकूक़ मांगती है. सो देयरफॉर इंटरनेशनल लॉ डील्स विद द राइट्स एंड ड्यूटीज़ ऑफ स्टेट एज वेल. तो जितनी भी रियासतें हैं, जितने भी कंट्रीज़ हैं, सो व्हेन दे आर डीलिंग विद वन अनदर, so that relations and that smooth relation should also be regulated. So as a result, we can see international law deals with the states and also protect the states against other states. The second is it protects individuals. तो जो फर्द उस स्टेट में रहते हैं, जो अफराद रहते हैं, जो बाशिंदे रहते हैं, उनकी हकूक़ का भी तहफ़्फ़ुज़ करना है. अगर ये अफराद किसी और मुल्क में चले जाएं तो वहाँ भी उनके हकूक़ का तहफ़्फ़ुज़ करना है। और इसी तरह डिफरेंट सिचुएशंस में इन लोगों के हकूक़ का तहफ़्फ़ुज़ करना है। जिस तरह जंग के ज़माने में लोगों के हकूक़ का तहफ़्फ़ुज़ मज़ीद बढ़ जाता है। So therefore, international law also protect individual. In this individuals, it deals with human rights and humanitarian laws, protecting the rights of individuals and groups in both peace and war against violation by states and other non-state actors. So we can see that international law not only protects state against state, it also protects the individuals, especially during the time of crisis, during the time of war. Third, international law deals with organizations. कैसे organizations? This may means different types of international organizations or institutions or multinational corporations. ऐसे bodies जो कि मुख्तलिफ countries के साथ, मुख्तलिफ nationalities के साथ उनका ताल्लुक हो, so they are called multinational organizations. So international law also protect the rights of these kind of international organizations because they are dealing with different states. As a result, their rights shall also be protected. So these are the three main bodies which the international law seeks to protect. अब इसके बाद नया क्वेश्चन ये है कि why we need international law? What is the need of international law? So we can see that international law is required for different purposes. The first purpose is that we need international law for ensuring peaceful relations between states. Because if there is international law, if there is existing international law, so there would be peace between states. क्योंकि जब रियासतों के बीच में इंटरनेशनल लॉ एग्जिस्ट करेगा, जब उनको प्रिंसिपल्स एंड रूल्स का पता हो कि हाउ द स्टेट हैज़ टू बिहेव in particular situation, as a result they would be following it. And when they would be following or observing these rules, as a result there would be no conflicts and no tension. But remember, when there is no international law or the states do not know about international law, as a result they would try to solve problems on their own, which may result in different kind of conflicts and disputes. And similarly, it prevents the use of force and threats in case of international disputes. Because the state know that how to solve the problem, what is the way out, एक मसले का हल क्या है और उसको कैसे हल किया जा सकता है. So when the states know about these kind of rules, they would not go for the coercive use of their force and try to solve the problems. Rather, they would go for peaceful method of solving the problem. As a result, in the presence of international law, we can expect there can be peace. Otherwise, the states would be resorting to the use of force to solve disputes. It provides solution to different problems through predefined standards and principles. So international law gives the rules. It gives different types of solutions for different kind of situations. कि अगर ऐसे situations हों, for example, जंग के हालात हों, so how would the army behave? How would the army act? What are the responsibilities of that particular military, or what are the responsibility of that particular state and the government? So when these rules are there, as a result they would be following it. So international law gives solution to the problems, and with different kind of disputes, it tells us the way out. It protects the rights and interests of states, individuals, groups, and other non-state actors during peace as well as war. तो जिस तरह पहले बताया कि international law deals with the individuals, it deals with the states, it deals with different types of international organizations. इसी तरह वो इनके rights को भी protect करती है कि इनके हकूक़ का violation ना हुआ, and the states always, especially that state which is the aggressor state, so they should be complying some rules. They should not be going for exaggeration and the misuse of their force. International law regulates issues related to exploitation, exploration, and utilization of natural resources, trade or business relations, as well as protection and management of environment. जिसका मतलब ये है कि because international law is giving us the rules and principles, It also helped the state how the resources should be exploited, how these resources should be used, how these resources should be again further transported to the society, and how they can be imported in different types of markets and business. So all these kind of rules are also given by international law. क्योंकि इसका ताल्लुक पूरे सोसाइटी से है और पूरी वर्ल्ड सोसाइटी से है. As a result, it has given us different types of rules and support how to carry on a particular activity in this civilized world. The sixth is it regulates the conduct of states during warfare, the rights of prisoners, protection of civilian population, protection of educational institutions, hospitals, etc. Especially जब इमरजेंसी के हालात हों, जब क्राइसिस हों, तो उसमें इंटरनेशनल लॉ का नीड ज़्यादा बढ़ जाता है, बिकॉज अ स्टेट हैज़ टू इंश्योर द कंप्लायंस टू इंटरनेशनल लॉ, जिसमें जो अवाम है उनकी हकूक़ का तहफ़्फ़ुज़ है. इसके बाद जो कैदी आ जाते हैं, जो जंगी कैदी हैं, विच आर कॉल्ड प्रिजनर्स ऑफ वॉर, हाउ दे शैल बी डील विद, what are their rights. So these kind of all guidelines are provided by international law. लेकिन अमूमन बात ये होती है कि sometimes the states do not follow these kind of laws, and as a result, when they are not complying with these kind of international rules and international law, as a result there comes a very grave concern of the world public opinion, and then that state is condemned. लेकिन अमूमन हम ये कोशिश करनी चाहिए, और जितनी भी states हैं उनको ये कोशिश करनी चाहिए कि जो इंटरनेशनल लॉ ने राइट्स सेट किए हुए हैं, सो दे शुड बी ऑब्जर्व्ड एंड देयर शुड बी नो एग्रेंडाइजमेंट, देयर शुड बी नो एक्सट्रीम स्टेप दैट शुड बी टेकन बाय अ पर्टिकुलर स्टेट. अपने इख्तियारात से तजावज़ नहीं करना चाहिए. जो रूल्स गिवन है उसको फॉलो करें. विद दिस वी कैन सी दैट द प्रॉब्लम्स कैन बी ईजिली सॉल्व्ड एंड देयर वुड बी नो पब्लिक रिएक्शन.